What is up, dudes, dudettes, and dudes who defy description? And a toasty, hot, warm welcome to each and every one of you beautiful peeps out there to another episode, Another episode of OzsomeFun in Minecraft. Oh yes. Now today I have a really, what I hope is going to be a mega awesome fun build for you. I'm going to be building my version of Tower Records, the music store, based on the version that's in Japan, and I'm going to hopefully make it a music disc farm and I guess a gunpowder farm on the side as well. Now you can see where this building's going to go behind me, next to the Ghostbuster headquarters, behind the multicolor market. But it is a large structure. It takes up a lot of space. And of course, we are going to need to do some terraforming. So we're going to need this area. This is how much space we basically need. If I had to come up a bit higher, you can see we need to take off all this area in between here and around to this area here. As you can see, I've got a beacon in place for doing this. So I'm going to get started by a terraforming time lapse where I'm stuck. I'm going to get started with a terraforming time lapse, and I'm going to talk you through today's plans. If I can get myself unstuck from here, hopefully. Llamas. I don't know about you, but I personally really enjoy taking down massive areas of terrain in Minecraft. It's something, I don't know, it just leaves me in a kind of zen mood. I chuck on an audiobook and I'm just total zen when I do it. It's really enjoyable. It's kind of like the same sensation you get sometimes when you clean something up. It's that same kind of feeling. Now the good thing is, although I'll be left with a huge amount of resources from gathering this, particularly stone, this will come in handy because, as you can see from the green slime blocks there, we're going to need to extend this mountain further than it is just now. So it's worthwhile keeping a hold of all these items, and then we can reposition them later, because the platform that I'm about to build here is going to be a lot bigger than it probably needs to be, and so we want to recover as much, particularly of this land that's over the water there, because I don't want to affect the river, because this river goes all the way from my base down to the old mall, and I quite like taking that route sometimes, and I'd like to do some more with that in the future. But here's our platform in position, and we can now lay out the base of the building. Now I have built this building previously in a creative test world, but I didn't build the interior, so I've only done the exterior. So I started out by building myself a nice floor plan there, so I can be sure I'm happy with the position it is in, and we can start building it. Now you should Google Tower Records Japan to see what the building is that this was inspired by. My building, it's hard, I wouldn't say it looks particularly like it, but it definitely takes its inspiration from it there, and I love these colors. I would never have thought to build a building using yellow, but this is the inspiration that came from this, and that was the fun thing, is taking a real life building and trying to make your own version of it here. Now, as you can see, I'm doing this sort of side bit here. I had a lot of faffing around with the bits that come out of the red circle, getting them in the right position, and I do change them a little bit during some of the bits off camera. But this main building area that I'm building here, this is going to be the shop floor. You can see the door underneath the circle. There's a one in the same position on all three sides here, and this will be the shop floor where the customers come in and where they can buy all of the records. So that's what's going to be in our smaller front building. Now it's in the rear larger building where I'm going to put our farm for music discs, and that basically involves building a creeper farm and a device for skeletons to shoot the creepers so that we make sure we get the music discs. But what I'm kind of hoping is this large building that I'm building there, that's where the farm's going to be, and I'm hoping it's high enough up that I can then hopper away all of the items and put them in the grey bit above the customer building where it says no music, no life. So the idea is this upper part of that building will be my stock room, while the large building will of course be the farm. Now I'm putting in here the sign. Now the first thing that you'll notice is there's a slight issue here where the drowned farm that I've got, you'll see it in the next time lapse when we switch to the other side. The drowned farm is actually casting a shadow over the top of one corner of the building, but it's not too much of an issue because it's not the area that you'll mainly be looking at the building from that's affected, and I think a little bit of lighting will help that out a lot. Along with the fact is, I like my drone farm, it works very well, but I haven't stylized it. As you can see it floating up in the sky, it just looks like a big sort of skyscraper in the sky, big glass building, and I hope to go back and, or definitely going to go back and decorate that, make it look awesome. You'll notice here as well that I put the tower records in one place too far over, so I had to redo that. Which is one of the things that gets annoying when you're used to building a building like this in creative, and then you're like, oh, I just can't float away and look at it from high up and then fly back. Nothing is that simple. So you'll see again this slight shadow here cast over on the left hand side of the building, but as I say, I'm not too worried about that because I'll be able to fix it without too many problems. Now it's in this big box at the top that has tower records written on it. That's where our farm's going to be, and I'm already stoked by how many mobs are just spawning around this area, but I'm going to spawn proof, of course, this entire area. So here we go, just our last bit to finish at the front here, our final tower records sign, and that's the main structure completed. Oh yeah. This place is really coming together, doesn't it look absolutely awesome in position here? It's wonderful. Here's a couple of things I wanted to mention that I did off screen, and that is I have gone around and I have spawn proofed the entire area. So all of these things here have carpet on top of them, just to make sure that we get the best spawning rate when it comes to that. Now, another thing that I also did, other than crash into the wall, is that I took out some sections on the side here, just level with where the windows are, just to give it a bit more detail, a bit more texture and depth onto it as well. And I'm going to explain in just a second while these cats are here. I did the same thing on this side as well. And of course, I don't know how easy it was to always see this if it was spawning in the time lapse, but this is the no music, no life. These slogans are actually there in the real building on the side with towered records at the very front here, and just no music, no life on this side as well. And if we come inside here, you can see I currently have an army of cats. And you might be wondering, why have I got an army of cats? Well, this is going to help us with our next section. Now, the next thing we're going to do, other than basically get lots of kitty cat food, because we're going to need it, is that we're going to, above me here, build our spawning platform for the creepers. And on the spawning platform, we're going to incorporate these kitty cats to help scare the creepers, get them to more quickly run into the water that's going to funnel them into the farm. So I'm going to start now by building, and I don't want to do the whole video time lapses, so I'm going to get started on my creeper spawning area, and then I'll bring you back and show you what it looks like once we have a bit more of it done. Okay, if you're ready, say meow. They're all ready. Here is our psychedelic, intense to look at creeper spawning platform, all completed. So you'll see all around the edges here, we have got lots of kitty cats here in Minecarts, so they can't teleport to us, and just ones out here as well. And this should basically push all of the creepers to run away once they spawn away from these dudes and into the water. That'll take them down here and into this drop shaft below. That's what I'm hoping. Now, it might be that I need to bring the water levels down one more, because creepers, if you put, this is a thing with all mobs, I think, really, if you put trapdoors here and leave them open, they see them as being closed, and so they'll run into this and fall over the edge. But I'm pretty sure that they're not actually necessary with the cats as well, because I think the creepers will still run into the water anyway and get stuck. So some of the parts, because I've had to lower it down here as far as the water would flow, they do have trapdoors on the side, so I'm just going to have to do a test and see how this works. And the other thing I've put in is, of course, to put in carpet, because spiders spawn in 3x3 areas, so as long as we knock those areas out, there's no 3x3 areas, that should only allow creepers to form in. Now, the very last thing that we need to do to make this a creeper only spawning platform is to, of course, make it dark and to reduce the height. So creepers will spawn in a height of 2 blocks minus a trapdoor. So we will essentially put a trapdoor on top of the roof like this, and that makes this space here just under 2 blocks and the exact height for a creeper, and that means that only creepers, once we cover this whole roof area in trapdoors, will be able to spawn here. And once we fill in the whole roof, that'll make it dark as well, and we should get creepers beginning to spawn. So I'm going to do this last part now, and then we'll see the magic in action. Oh yes. The creeper farm is operating successfully. If you have a look behind me here, you will see our contenders that have arrived today. Now you'll notice that there's 2 platforms. This one I had at 20 blocks below where I thought they were dropping from. They're maybe dropping from a little bit higher than that initially, and I know it's 24 or 26 blocks. Can't remember which of a fall will kill them, and we don't want to kill them, we just want to take them down to 1 shot for the skeleton. So I noticed that quite a few, more than half, I'd say, were dying when they were hitting this lower platform, which is why I raised it up a little bit, and you can see we have a lot more survivors up here than down there. So our next step is to add on the component that will allow the skeletons to shoot at them by having an iron golem on one side and the skeleton on the other. Now this is a farm design modified that I picked up from OzsomeFun, and I will put a link to his video in the description below. Hello, we've got more arriving as we're here. Hello, come on in. This is probably going to make it a bit trickier when it comes to the next bit, but you know, I like a challenge. Oh yeah, nice. Nice. And here is our creeper killing device. You'll see it in action. There it goes, right there. It is working an absolute treat. I've just chugged down a quick night vision potion so you can see what is going on here. But this is just so cool. You see we've got our 2 skeletons in there. We've got MC Scully and DJ Bones, who are our 2 record collecting dudes. Now, the farm isn't broken, which is... You're probably wondering, why am I seeing all these floating music stairs? What's wrong with the farm? I've basically AFK'd overnight, and I'll show you in a second what I've collected. But to give you an idea of how this works, again, I'll put a link to Ozuma's tutorial in the description below, and I've slightly modified what he's done. But how these things work is there's essentially an open channel here where you've got the skeleton in the minecart. It can see straight through to see this iron golem on the other end through this gap here, which is allowing him to aggro. Now, thanks to the water and the falling sand and things like this, this is helping to stop the arrows from actually hitting them. There might be, this was a farm that was created originally in 1.12, and the purpose of this sand on top of the fence post is supposed to despawn these arrows quicker, but it doesn't seem to be working. But that could be a 1.12 change or something like that, but it's not a big issue for me because I'm not playing on a multiplayer server. Now, the one that OzsomeFun designed just had 1 channel going across, and I decided to add a second channel because one of the things he talked about in his video was how one side fills up quicker than the other, because obviously if you've got this double wide gap where it's falling down, you've only got someone firing from one side. The ones on this side can cause a bit of a build up. So I just thought, well, how do you add another one in without them shooting each other? Well, we just basically put the same thing going across the other way, and that is working really, really well. And obviously the rates of the farm, you know, they're more than what I need them to be, and they will improve further as we continue to spawn proof the surrounding area. But the most important thing now is let's have a look and see what we've collected in this drop. So I've AFK'd overnight, probably about 8 hours or so or something like that. I AFK'd, and look at all of these beautiful records that we have got here, along with, of course, our gunpowder as well. All of these chests are completely full of records. That's 4 double chests with records, gunpowder, plus all of these are completely full, which is why this has all got floating records going on top. But it works an absolute treat. It's really awesome. And once I create a storage room that we can then divert all this stuff out of the item area there, and we can take it across into this top room there, the height is going to work just perfectly, and we can use this upper area here as our storeroom and put an item sorting system into there to deal with all the drops. But it's just, I just love it. I love the way you're using the mobs to fight the mobs. It's such a cool design. And now we can move on to the even more fun part of this build, which is, of course, designing the interior. So how I think I'm gonna, the idea that, hey guys, the shop's not open yet, you'll have to come back. And these people are keen to get started. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna have a flashing multicolored dance floor in the middle. Well, maybe not multicolored, maybe a redstone lamp, but a flashing dance floor, right? I'd like there to be, whichever entrance you come in, I'd like it to play a little tune when you walk in the door. So we'll have maybe tripwires with some note blocks underneath. Then we'll have the dance floor area, and we'll have lots of racks of records as well. And I think, I'm not sure how I'm going to do this yet. I'm going to play around with it and see how I feel. But I would like there to be a set of stairs up the side here and here that either lead up into an area that I'll create underneath the farm for each individual record. I think there's 12. I'll double check this. 12 different records. Guys, I told you to come back later. Stop Oh, look at these. They're everywhere, man. They're everywhere. Right? So yeah, either these stairs will lead up to this area underneath here, and there's about 12 different records. So we'll have 12 different little themed booths or rooms where you can listen to each of the 12 records and buy them individually as well. So we'll either have the stairs lead up from here into this back area here, or we'll have them curl round, and we'll put that booth area above in this section here. I'm not sure. I haven't done this bit yet. I already designed the building before in creative mode, but I have yet to have even attempted anything for the interior. But that's my sort of vision for how I think this is going to work. And I just love watching this. The dude's firing the things away. Whoa, here he comes. You ain't surviving for long, friend. It's just insta-death. The second that one appears, there's no chance for them to build up because the guys are firing so fast. I also gave them power 5 bows. So my next thing to do, of course, is to work on the interior. So the first thing I'm going to, attempt is to plan out the ground floor. So I'll do a bit of that, and then we'll come back and see how this place is coming together. And already it's my new favorite place on the server. Go Skellies, get them, get those creepers. Another progress update for you folks. We have the dance floor here complete, which I'll show you in 1 second. This is it below me, and we have added this stairway. Now I might change how this is designed, not the shape, just what blocks and things I use. I just wanted to put in an initial stairway. So this will come up from both sides, and then it'll split into 2 here, and we're gonna create areas around the edge where the booths will be, where you can listen to and then buy the records. But I'd like to have it going around the edge and leaving the central well area open so you can see down to the floor below, to the dance floor. Now let me turn this thing on and let me show you it in action. So we've got a temporary switch there. We'll move that later on. But look at this baby. Oh yeah, gets you in the dancing mood. Yeah, I'm dancing. I'm doing the worm. Well, I'm kind of just falling forwards. But, oh yeah, I'm dancing. I'm a dancing. Isn't it wicked? Now, I'll put a link to the video. I got the idea for this from below. It's quite actually straightforward, because I'm not much of a redstoner. It essentially has in here a redstone clock, and in the bottom, underneath the dance floor, there is a dispenser with a bucket of water. And if we break this block at the side here, I can show you this. So in the center there's a dispenser that dispenses water into this area. All these observers pointing down see the water coming out, and of course it activates the redstone lamps, and that's what gives you these wicked patterns. And it looks even better when you look at it from further away, because then you don't hear the dispensing noise. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't it pretty? It's going to look so nice. So the next thing we're going to be doing is adding in some kind of note block device at each of the 3 doors, so it plays a little song or a little tune, probably not a song, a short tune, when you come into the place. We'll have to decorate the bottom. Idea is to put a bunch of racks in here around the dance floor for looking at records, and then perhaps underneath here, I like the idea of maybe putting in a statue or a fountain or something like that here. We'll then build a wall up the back to separate this area from the front. I don't know what we're going to use this area for. I'll work that out at a later date, probably a staff area perhaps. And then of course we need to add our item sorter, taking our items away from the farm here and putting them in. Now, I did AFK again overnight at my iron farm, which is over there where you see the blimp with the word iron on the outside. And I didn't realize that when I was over there, this farm would still work. And in fact, oh God, what's happening now? So you'll see that both of the skeletons have managed to shoot themselves out of their carts, but they don't seem to be hitting the iron golem, which is great. And what is this guy spawned on that you can see walking around here? He wasn't there a second ago. Can enemies spawn on top of chests? Because they can't spawn on glass. This is really confusing. Right, I'm going to have to go kill this guy, and then we'll go and work some more progress in doing this. But it's really coming together, and I love this dance floor. Oh yeah, I thought that was the best thing about this place. There's too many things that are the best thing. Anyway, time to get on with more building, and I've fallen down a hole. So we'll see you again very soon. We now have a nice little entry tune. Triggered by tripwire every time a customer enters from any entrance. Now, just in case you're a bit curious how this works, I've left this bit open here. I tried to make the Mission Impossible theme tune, but it takes so many no blocks to make such a long tune. This is my first time properly using them, other than an AFK fish farm. So these ones have a block of glowstone underneath, which changes the sound. You basically right click on a note block when you place it down, if you're not familiar with it, to go through the scale of notes. So I basically have it set at 5, 7, and 9. You then use repeaters here to slow it down, and if we watch when I trigger it, it just goes 1, 2, 3, de Frere Jacques, Frere Jacques. That was the tune that I went for. All of you Frere Jacques fans out there. So that is our entrance song. Obviously these blocks here are temporary. We'll just put them in place to make sure this is working, and I'm going to cover this one up now that I've showed you how it works. So our welcome tune is being played. I also figured out what was happening up here. I think scaffolding. Mobs can spawn on scaffolding, so I've lit that entire area up now. And these guys are still firing away. Okay, so that's another little addition done. Time to get on with more of the decorating. Man, that rocks. No more sneaking up on me now, ha, pillagers. Haha. Right, we have completed the interior and the exterior, little bits of it anyway, work of Tower Records. This place is looking awesome with tons of exciting features. I'll start by showing you the exterior here. You can see that I've used the paintings as sort of posters, like kind of band posters, I guess, in the window, a bit of a death metal theme. In this one, I've used the sort of bookcases here as sort of record racks, and I've used the armor stands there to show off some of our records. Maybe it could be t-shirts we could be selling as well. These are our three sides, along with, of course, I've built this exterior sort of bit to it here that's lit up with sea lanterns underneath there. So we've got Dancing Ghast on this side. We've got an album in a display case there as well. So why don't we come inside? You'll remember this, and I'll show you what we've got. So inside here, we've got the Beatles' White Album, 1968. Classic there. You can see it is indeed a white album. We've got our dance floor here. Now, I've rigged the dance floor up to this music player. So when you flick that switch, it turns on. And we also have this, which I love, our record launching fountain. Isn't it beautiful? Now, I'm having a bit of trouble with stuff getting stuck at the top of it there, but I think it's pretty cool. That is not hooked up to this switch. It's just coincidence it came on. It's on a timer on at the same time. So we've got our dance floor in the middle here. We can do dancing. We've got some speakers up on the wall there that have used some banners. Banner pattern there. Hopefully you can see that. It doesn't get too dark on YouTube. I also found some nice banners on Planet Minecraft. Like we've got our guitar up here, and we've got Pink Floyd's sort of the wall up there. Dark Side of the Moon even. We've also got this little sign here to tell you that the ground floor is the dance floor and the first floor is for music and sales. So we'll turn this off for just now. See, I'm having a problem with some of the records getting stuck on the top. Just to give you an idea of how this works in case you're curious. If we come underneath, it's very simple. It's just an etho hopper clock here with timed by carpets that essentially pushes up an observer to point at another observer, which is stuck to the bottom of the dispenser that's in the center of the fountain, and it's just got lots of hoppers on the outside to put them back in there, and it works really well apart from the parts of it getting stuck on there. Other than that, it works awesome. So that's our ground floor, and I think, yeah, it's very, very cool. So if we come up now, follow our staircase here to the mezzanine level, or the first floor, whichever you want to call it. Here we've got all of the records. This is a bit imagined what it would be like if I was playing on a multiplayer server and this was a shop. So we'd have each individual record for sale, and we've got them, see, 13, 2 diamonds each. You can take off the record, pop it into there to have a listen. That was always a bit creepy, along with that eerie noise. And then in the shulker box here, we've got where you would buy your individual records. So we've got that for all 12 different records, with a bit of a different theme for each little listening booth. Then at the edge here, we've got the, now that's what I call Minecraft number 12, where you can buy the entire collection. And I put that in, again, this is a single player world, so the prices don't really matter, but I guessed it would be 23 diamonds if you wanted it with the shulker box, or 18 without, as opposed to 24 diamonds to buy them all individually from here. So it's encouraging people to spend a bit more money. I also enjoy this pattern on the roof, using 2 of the newish glazed terracottas as well. They're very cool. And of course, we've got our giant record at the back here as a decoration in the colors of Tower Record. So that covers our shop floor, looking pretty magnificent. Then if we pop downstairs, we can see staff only. Step through a cheeky little piston door here, and we see this back area here. I haven't used this for anything yet, so there is a chance don't like that. Can't have any dirt in a finished building, you know. Jeez, man, jeez. Right, sorry about that, folks. It looks so unprofessional. We've got this big empty area here, so I could do something with this. We could build a farm in here in the future, or use it for something in the future. But at the side here, we've got ourselves a bubble column to take us up here. This takes us up to the level with the storage facility. You can see we've got another record in a display case, Pink Floyd, another brick in the wall. That was a song as opposed to an album. The album was called The Wall, but I thought it made a lot of sense to put that up to commemorate how many bricks went in the various walls around here. And in here, I've imagined this is the stock room, so you've got all of your different records available here, and I've got so many already that automatically feed into the shulker boxes, so they're easy enough to use for restocking the shop downstairs. This is where our main storage comes in. You can see in the time since I've had the farm itself operating, we've already collected a lot of gunpowder and a lot of records. These ones aren't hooked up, so we're right now almost full. Again, I was completely full before I filled the fountain, before I started this recording. And at the edge here, we've got overflow protection. So if something gets so jacked up, if it gets jacked up, it gets backed up, and it ends up getting full of stuff, what will happen is the stuff will get put into here, which detected it and launched it through so quickly that we didn't even see it get stabbed on the cactus. But yeah, that is a cool little bit of overflow protection there. Then last but not least, we have the place you've seen already, our little hopper thing there. Oh, hello, creeper. Oh, goodbye, creeper. Let's head on up, and I've made a couple of little changes here. You can see that I've added these bits in at the side because, as you can see, sometimes these guys shoot themselves out of their minecart. So all I do is get a dispenser here with some minecarts, do a little flick, having the other minecart there pushes it forward, forces it forward, and just reseats them. And they're better seated because it's a better angle for them as well. Also, I wanted to be able to turn off the farm. So the way that I can do that, it's not very flashy, but you just grab a lever from here, put the lever onto the side of this piston, sticky piston even, give it a flick, and that pushes this bit of glass in front, and you can see he's immediately stopped aggroing on the iron golem. Then we flick it, it breaks itself, pulls that back out of the way, and he starts firing once again. So just if for any reason I want to turn off the farm, I can do that. And if I want to give them new minecarts, I can do that. The other thing I've also added up here are the supplies for making new iron golems, because very occasionally these dudes do get hit by the incoming arrows. I think especially if they break the minecart. So it's useful to have the ability to make new iron golems really quick. So that's just 2 little things or 3 little things that help keep the farm running a bit more efficiently now that I've been running it for a while. But I'm really impressed with how many things I've got. I've already got more records than I'll probably ever need in my entire life. Then of course if we come around this side of the farm to the opposite side, we've got another bubble column which takes us down to the ground and back out through another piston door on the opposite side, and there is the record fountain doing its thing. Let's cheekily swim through it. So that, folks, is our tower records. What an immense build this has been, and it has been so much fun to do. Oh, triggered the door thing. I kind of did it a bit on purpose because I love it. Oh yeah. But yeah, we have pretty much done everything we need to do. The only other thing that we're going to do, but this is going to be done in a different episode, is we need to better mold the underneath of the tower records in with the landscape. So this is completely filled in, solid blocks all the way. I managed to do all that, but I need to neaten up this edge around here where it's very flat, very boxy looking. It doesn't look so good over here. If you take a land over here beside my house, we can have a look and see our tower records. What an awesome build it's been. It's taken me a long time though, I think, since I've been working on this since December, so it has been an epic size of build, but it's full of such awesome fun features, from the record farm itself to things like the tune that plays when you enter, the light up dance floor. All of this stuff is very, very cool. And of course, the record launching fountain. But I hope you have enjoyed today's episode of Awesome Fun in Minecraft. I've got, oh, there goes the fountain. Oh yeah, I love it. I love it. I hope you have enjoyed seeing these variety of things that have been built in today's episode for our tower records. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to do all the YouTubey things. I need tell you not what they are, because you're such genius peeps. You know them all by now. But most of all, I appreciate you taking the time to watch with your eyes and listen with your ears. It's been awesome to spend this time with you, and I look forward to spending some more time with you in another episode of Awesome Fun in Minecraft. Take care out there, everyone. Bye-bye.